Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where what even is Rangers anymore? Like we've done a lot of these podcasts this season. Obviously, it's been a pretty dismal season, all things gathered. But it's just now at the point where I think fans like me and you don't even really feel anything anymore. We win against Hearts yesterday. Typically a good venue to go and play a game of football at. Hard place to go and win. We win 3-1, and the discourse is still the same. We need the manager shotty. We need him gone, and we'll go on to obviously what you said after the match and stuff for that one. But it's hard being a Rangers fan at the moment and trying to find any slither of positivity in anything. Aye, it's the way of life, and obviously we didn't do the podcast last week either because we thought what's the point of doing
What's the
this?
point?
Because we've all we're going to do is complain. All we're going to do is basically do the same episode that we've done all year after one of the most damning results in our history. But we will briefly touch on it because we cannot skip by the fact that this even happened, even if we didn't talk about it last week. Sorry. The fact that the manager is still in his position after this game is laughable. And a week ago, it was obviously the Monday after this game, the Sunday, we were like, right, let's keep waiting. Rangers didn't tweet all week up until the press conference, radio silence for the club. Zero idea what's happening in terms of planning for the future. I mean, Clement isn't going to be the guy that any Rangers fan accepts to build the future with. The club seem to be pretty happy with the job he's doing for some reason after this. Again, this should have been the last straw. But he continues in his post. He was there in the dugout against Hearts, and he was there making the same stupid claims as he was after that game, only boosting his ego after a win where two own goals were scored. And he had the audacity to come out and say this wasn't a bad performance and stuff. I mean, it's the time's over for Clement. It's just a matter of when now. We're just struggling through the rest of the season with nothing to play for anymore. So I mean, there isn't really a real need to sack him, probably in the board's eyes at the moment. But this is it's taking away the enjoyment of Rangers for us fans now. With this being the situation.
Well, I mean, if anybody who's a non-Rangers fan is watching and they're just looking at my hairline, you know why? Because results like this and who's in the dugout and the way the club gets ran, it's disgraceful. I don't recognise the club anymore, mate. If I'm honest, like he should have been gone after this result. He should have been. I mean, I don't know how many times this season we've made videos where Clement should have been gone, but he's still in the post. Which he obviously know I don't see him getting sacked now. I think they're just going to stick with him. I think they're just letting the fans know this is the guy. We're just going to stick with him. They're not going to sack him. I can't see it. I think they're sticking to their guns on it, which tells you everything about them for me. But I mean, what I can't honestly believe it again. We're out of the cup. That's Celtic get another treble. What's it? 16 points clear.
13 now after we won yesterday, I
13.
think.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. I mean, 16, 13, still, I mean, it's a disgrace altogether.
Yeah.
Nothing to play for. So, really, I mean, I'd say to any other Rangers fan, just go and enjoy your weekends with your families or find a hobby, do something instead of watching this because it's a slog to watch. And if the manager thinks these are good enough performances, I mean, dearie me, somebody take the wine away from him.
Nah, no, we're in a very, very sorry state at the moment. And last week was definitely one of the lowest moments I can ever remember being a fan of this club. Honestly,
Well,
such a terrible performance.
But one of the lowest, and then you think, yeah, it's the day in it, 5 years ago, winning Dortmund. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? You just tells you, I think it is anyway, but it just tells you
Three
where
3 years ago it'll be, I think.
three, three,
2022, wasn't
I don't know, the time it all goes together is one
it?
mate for me. But, it just shows you, but you know what I mean, where it is, it's
Aye,
disgraceful. It's
no,
an
no.
absolute disgrace.
Getting
As I
beat at
say,
home off a team that are kind of not even like one of the top teams in the championship. They're struggling in the championship and they've came to Ibrox and beat us is just insane.
shows you, none of these, as I say, these players again for me as well.
Yeah, I know. They need to start taking some ownership as well
People,
for it.
this thing as well. Obviously, after the game as well, Jack Butland hitting out with the same interview. I feel like every Rangers player hits out with. Oh, we've just got to learn and keep. There's no learning here with these players whatsoever. It's clear and obvious the players don't care. The
See
players
if
don't turn
you're
up. But
see if you're a Rangers player, and again the bedding in period's now gone by for your new guys that have come into the club. They've been here long enough. They've been through tough times. They've been through good times already in the Rangers careers, like Yefty and guys like that came in the summer. If you're still
mm,
needing to learn what Rangers is and what Rangers is all about, like still, then I'm afraid you're not good enough for the club if you keep on coming out with that. It's just
well, I mean, even the manager doesn't even know what it's about,
well,
you know.
exactly, aye.
So, I just, as I say, obviously it was a disgraceful result, and then the game yesterday
Yep.
was a hard watch.
Well,
It was a hard.
you see after the manager when you knew he was going to get absolutely grilled after that Queens Park game, and rightfully so. But I mean, how does he turn that around was one of the questions he was asked, and he's been asked this multiple times all year, and I don't know how he can even be asked answering the same question time and time again with such bullshit answers, and him coming out and saying we just need to win football games. That game at Hearts yesterday is exactly why winning football games just isn't enough for Rangers. Um, we're playing for nothing in the league. That result meant nothing other than Cherny gets another goal for the season, and we seen all the same things that we've saw all year. Every time we've played away from home, we never dominate the game. We never look like the team that's going to comfortably win a game. We always look like we've got a mistake in us. We'll always concede, and 9 times out of 10 we don't usually come back after we have the setback of one each or we go to 1-0 down. We usually just take the foot off the gas and
Okay.
don't I just chuck it basically. So
And this was a game, if we're all honest, we were kind of hoping they chuck it, but then they thought, nah, you know what, we'll actually go out and try and win this one.
no, I mean like it was a absolutely terrible performance yesterday. And the fact that we won 3-1 is mental. The fact that we went in at half time 1-0 up
It's
is mental.
Sorry, as soon as you seen Tom Lawn starting, mate, but you knew what you were in for, but didn't you?
I mean, exactly everything that's wrong with Clement's decision making and stuff and what he comes out with and like that's your team. You're looking at it being pretty standard out with Tom Lawrence playing. Tom Lawrence is a guy that was getting chucked out the door a couple of weeks ago. If any club wanted to take him, nobody took him. We couldn't get anybody in to replace him, so we just kept him to the end of the year. But that shouldn't be a guy that's starting games anymore. That should be a guy that's taking out the squad. And if we really need to play him, if we've got nobody else, then we'll need to play him. But you've got guys that are now not really getting that opportunity. They're going to be here by this season, um, and need to improve and need games to actually adjust the Rangers if we want to see them flourish. I'm looking at Clinton and Ciala. This is his sixth or seventh game he's played for Rangers, and he's been pretty much a standout in every one he's played. And that's the advantage of just chucking a young guy in and seeing how he handles it. And he's been able to handle it. He's played in tough games. Um, Aberdeen at home was one of his very first games. He handled that really well. Going away to Tynecastle wasn't an easy one. Obviously, we had a couple of poor ones throughout the way, like Dundee away and stuff. But he was never really one of the guys you would look at and be like, he's crap. Why are we playing him? I think the fans have really taken to Clinton and Ciala, and it's just good to see somebody get the game time that they need because he's going to be a player beyond next season that we're trying to develop. So, I think seeing Tom Long start was just writing on the wall at that point. I thought, um, but yeah, we started the game. First 5 minutes, we had the ball in the back of the net with John Souttar. Nicely worked move, but obviously offside. Um, we then get the opening goal again through a corner routine. I mean, Hadji is obviously a nice cross into the box, but nobody in the Rangers team gambles. It needs to hit off the Hearts guy to go in. There's nobody even in the vicinity to look and put that in the net, which is another big thing that we're never really ready. We're never seeing these passes that these players are playing. So obviously we find ourselves 1-0 up. Very nice, but Hearts just completely battered us for the rest of the half, and we have our goal to thank. Obviously, Jack Butland was good. He made some good stops, and the defence was decent as well. I thought NCL, as I said, was good, and sort of definitely makes a difference in there. But we rode our luck at a lot of the time, and we're very lucky to get in at half time 1-0 because I don't know how we done it, to be honest.
Couldn't tell you, mate. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It's just a slog to watch, man.
No, that's the
Uh,
thing. And then you come out second half, you concede straight away, and what we were saying there, we're thinking, right, these players are just going to chuck it now. Hearts, the way they've been playing the first half, are going to step up. but they just didn't take their chances throughout the full game. They had multiple chances where they could have really hurt us, and um, they didn't take them. We find ourselves 2-1 up. Václav Cherny, as we say, one of the brighter sparks of this season, a guy I actually really enjoy watching playing for my club. Um, Scoring I think it's his 10th league goal. So again, he's been the sole performer in the goals output this season. He has definitely turned a massive corner for where he was at the start of the season, and he's a guy that I desperately want to see signed up. And we've put on record obviously before that we would like to see him play for Rangers beyond this season. But yeah, another good goal for him. And then we find ourselves 3-1 up. Nice pass over the top for Yanis Hadji. Dessers makes it hard for the defender, and Jamie McCart again gets his second of the game. So pretty sure his dad would have liked that one, scoring two for Rangers. But that was the nice wee bonus of the day with him scoring two own goals for us. But I think when you see after the game, there's the stats of the game, sorry, as well. Like that's not a Rangers team that's went out and dominated or deserved to win that game at all. Hearts 21 shots, 10 on target, more of the possession, more passes, just second in every single department there. And then Philippe Clement coming out and saying, "You cannot say this performance was not good today. If you scored three away at Hearts, and you could have scored more." Just waffling utter pish, literal pish is coming from his mouth. I don't know what game he watches. I don't know what fantasy island he lives in, but that was not a game where we deserved to win 3-1 or score any more goals, really. Hearts were the team that deserved to win this game. We get lucky with two own goals, and again, it cares much more about the result rather than the performance for me, which is it's just such a bad trait to have. Fair enough, you want to go and win games, but if you're sitting there and you're happy with that at 3-1 and we've been battered for the majority of the game, then you'd really need to take a look at yourself. I mean, this isn't the first time he's came out with bewildering statements like this. It's
I
silly
just
now for Clement. Nobody's listening to him and agreeing with him anymore. It's just like, mate, what are you on?
I just feel like I don't know, I feel like it's like a skit out of Burniston or chewing the fat or something with this guy all the time now. Just obviously on Cherny as well, I agree. Obviously, we need to make sure we try and get him signed in the summer and that. But you know us, probably won't happen.
We probably don't have another extra 50p in the
Uh,
bank to make it permanent, so we'll go and sign some
some
penny pinching guy for.
I'll tell you what, the real highlight for me for the game was watching Eggman put it through that boy's legs, and then what was it over his shoulder? That was about
I mean, you're
the highlight.
watching like, the two of them, Cherny and Igaman. You enjoy watching Igaman and his development throughout the season. You're really enjoying watching Cherny, and that's probably the biggest thing I've got to say about. Like, there are
Yeah.
no bad players in this team. Like, we've said this so many times in so many episodes. There's not bad players, but the players need to actually step up and realise what it's
It's,
meant to be to
it's a
play
bit
for
of
Rangers.
it's a bit of both, as I say. I think they need to step up, and then I feel like they need a better coach.
No, totally. I mean, look at the
Need a
middle of the
better.
park. It was just getting totally overrun
You've
because
got
the
this
setup was.
You've got this Wally saying this. Do you know what I mean? And it's I just can't with him anymore. I really can't. You know that one where you see the boy dive over the table. You know what meme I'm on about? That's
Yeah.
honestly, if I was in the press room with him, I just dive over the table. I can't. I just really don't understand what are we doing here? Why is this guy still in charge? Why is he still the
It's
manager?
just well when you then go on to Patrick Stewart's statement the other day, it's not financially driven. Like they could sack him if they wanted to because the money's there. Apparently, that's what that statement means to me. But they're not going to go and do it. So, I
As I said,
think as you say, we'll probably have more Clement than we
I'm
than we really want.
well, as I said to you last night, he's going to get ready for the summer and get ready for the start of the next season and everything because he's going to still be a manager, and that sickens me to think. Is just how many Rangers fans now do you see that turn around and say this guy makes Michael Beale look all right?
Yeah, no, and that's it. The
Michael
situation we're
Beale
in.
look all right.
And
That's
yeah, again, if you were a new subscriber or you're just seeing this podcast for the first time, go back to the episodes that we done when Michael Beale was a manager and he was about to get sacked because they were brutal. And the fact that we're now bigging up this guy over the now current Rangers manager is, it's a big
it's
reflection on Philippe Clement's time at Rangers. It's been terrible. It's been again, he was talking about good moments at Ibrox and stuff. I mean, if a one each draw with Spurs is a good moment at Ibrox, then how far have we really fallen? We used to beat Dortmund at home. We used to go and beat Leipzig at home. Like, aye. I'm lost for words. I genuinely am lost for words when I speak about this guy anymore because how is he still here? How have the board not acted? It's the questions we keep on asking ourselves every single waking moment of the every day. But I think what you're saying going into next season, be prepared for Clement. I think as soon as the season ticket renewals come out, that is when he'll get sacked because I've spoke to more Rangers fans than I have ever spoke to in my life saying they will not renew their season ticket for next year. If obviously nothing changes and see when the club don't get that money that they're basically guaranteed every year and they see a drop
Aye.
off in terms of finances and stuff, that is when they'll act because that is all they care about is the money that's coming into the club. And when fans actually properly be like, nah, I'm not renewing this ticket and they lose money, that's when they'll act.
It's a sad state, you know what I mean? It's just a sad state. Best support you'll find anywhere, and we get treated like this all the time, all
Yeah.
the time. I mean, as I said to you as well, I thought Chris Boyd yesterday brought up a brilliant point. You know what I mean? You see Celtic for 90 minutes dominating a game of football. Any top team dominate a game for 90 football. Rangers 15 minutes. They don't. You know what I mean? You can't go
You know
past that.
Celtic are going to win every game they play in
Every
the league,
game.
but you cannot say the same thing about Rangers. Like
It's a
it's
slug.
just a it's a damning
Every game
state.
is an absolute slug to watch. It's a hard watch. You don't. You know what I mean? You don't find wee moments where you're buzzing anymore. You're just.
No,
It's just hard to watch these games now.
no, it's terrible.
Especially even more when you know there's actual jack to play for. The fact, as I said, the young boys like Rice and stuff like that. This is when you throw them in now. This is
Yeah,
when you throw them in now. And the games that are coming up, throw them in. This is when we'll really find out about them. Especially Rice for me because I do. Obviously, we'll probably do their kind of lists when the season ends and stuff like that.
well,
Players
the
going
season's pretty much done, so we can
pretty
do that
much done. But
anytime.
I do see people like Raskin, but moving on in the summer and stuff. I want to see these young lads being thrown in because they're all we've got at the moment in time.
They
I
need
really
the
feel
opportunity, as we were saying about
they,
Inciala. He got the opportunity, and he's thriving with that chance that he's got in the team now. Curtis is coming on for 2 minutes at the end of the game. Rafa Fernandez is coming on for 2 minutes at the end of the game. Why is Robin Proper on the pitch when we're 3-1 up? Like, why does that need to happen? That is just a total
yet
baffling
again,
substitution.
yet again, as I said, any team that's a winning team, they don't change their back two. They don't change any of their
No,
defense. You know what I mean? It stays. Clement every game. I feel like right. I bring Shooter off, prop Popper up because he's sports scientist. He's went out here. He can only
aye,
play
no.
20
See, that's
minutes.
the thing.
He can only play.
I totally agree with rotating for the starting lineup, but see, changing your defenders and stuff mid game, 100% agree with you. That is just it's daft. But if you're going to do it, at least chuck a young guy on, like over
Aye,
Proper, who doesn't need to be on the pitch. Like
pitch.
this guy needs to get minutes playing for Rangers. He done the same thing in the Queens Park game. I mean, Fernandez wasn't having a bad game. Queens Park done nothing apart from the goal that they scored to really hurt us. And he subs him off and brings Suter on. I mean, you could go and chuck MD else on before you're chucking a
What
centre
does
half
that
off.
what does that tell you as a new signing? But obviously with it, you know what I mean? Right? Oh, am I shite then? And they're bringing the boy
Nah,
on. It's
it's
been
just again the management of the squad has always been terrible. I think in Clement's time that he's been here, I was just thinking, obviously when we're mentioning Tom Lawrence and how he shouldn't be playing because he's leaving in the summer. Remember, this is the same manager that went and started John Lundstrom at the last Still Firm game in the league last season. He get red carded and scored an own goal. Will we get pumped? Like this is the same manager that went and done that. So you'll see Tom Lawrence probably starting every game for the rest of the season. It's the question marks have been there since that one against Ross County, I think it was last season. We get beat, and then we drew away at Dundee, and the stuff that he ended up coming out with after that, and then the form after that into the summer, it's just been free fall for there. And the fact that he's been able to continue running his mouth and being the manager of this club just because of the state we're in with finances is embarrassing, and we're just getting took for mugs, really. Nothing to play for in February. We've got the Europa League that we aren't going to win because we didn't strengthen the squad in January to even compete with
aye,
teams on that
but
level.
it's the Europa League. It's Thursday nights.
No,
Come
I
on,
know this is
you know
what
what I
Rangers
mean?
players live for, apparently. But
I mean,
they didn't.
not the weekend where it matters the most. You know what I mean? The Thursday night.
Nah, no, it's just we could go on all day about how raging we are about Everton. But again, we need to go and play St Mirren. This was the scenes the last time we played St Mirren, 2-1 Boxing Day. Horrible performance once again.
Um,
Again,
it's-
another one that Philippe Clement probably should have been sacked after. But no, I think they were wanting to game a Happy New
we
Year.
could have honestly, we could have titled basically every episode that we've done for the podcast this year as Clement needs to go after the game.
Yep,
Every, every
yep,
game.
pretty much every
I
single
mean,
time.
if you're into betting and whatever, you know what I mean, if you're a neutral slinger, hang on St Mirren. Yet again, I don't see us getting here and winning. I
Nah,
can't see us
St Mirren
winning
are
at
a
all.
tough team. I think at home
Tough team.
especially.
They get
We
about on form now and all. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but
Well,
I know they've
they've got players that we struggle to ever deal with, like Gogic, like
got.
um, Olisanya. I think you're talking about up front. He's doing
Aye.
really well for St Mirren this season. Callan Boyd Munce obviously scored against us right there in that photo, the last minute of that game. So St Mirren are a tough team to beat. They're always well drilled. Stephen Robinson's a fantastic manager for this level, and he's done well with St Mirren. I think they're sixth as well, so they're top end
Mm.
fighting to get points to stay in there, and we've not got any play for. So it could be one of those situations where the players have just got the foot off the gas, and there's obviously another defeat waiting. But I think at home, Queen's Park was a bit of a freak result. Out with that, at home we do tend to be a lot better than we are away from home. And the team, I kind of just don't even really know. I just put players in. I want to see Fernandez get a game. I want to see Yilmaz back in because again, we don't have enough players to be playing. I mean, I'm even looking at the midfield there, and Diomande and Raskin have to play every game now for the rest of the season because Barron's injured and he doesn't want to start Rice because he hooked Rice off in the Queen's Park game. That was the scapegoat there. But a lot of these players are going to need to play every game. Czerny, Tavernier, Suter, Butland, like that is your team for the rest of the season. Obviously, you can pick out a couple and you can maybe go and start a young guy, but I don't foresee him doing that. I think it's going to be like last 10 minutes you'll get a shot. I don't see him like right there going and playing like Curtis for the start, for instance. So
I don't know. I don't see any. I obviously I'll start away. I mean, as I say, I'm at the point where I really just don't care. I really don't. You know what I mean? I'd just like to see the young boys get a chance. I really would. But as I say, Tom Lawrence and all them will get obviously be playing. But aye, I just think it's a real shame that Rice, as you say, probably won't even. He'll probably come on for like the last 3 minutes, the last
yeah,
4 minutes or something. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's done now, innit? It's all finished, and it's not even us coming on here raging or what we've been throughout the season and what have you. It's just us coming on here and just this is the
just
grim
it's
reality.
just that
This is
it's more
this is
just
this is what we have
owning
to
up
put
to
up
it.
with. This is what we have to put up with, and I mean the attendance. We'll see the attendance. I mean, I would really like to see us always just as a fan base come together and just let the board know. Do you know what I mean? That this guy has to go. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times we have to keep on Twitter or wherever. Do you know what I mean? But obviously it gets divided and when people try to protest and stuff, and then it gets booed out. Hang me. I just like to see as a fan base come together and just let them know in one voice. Nah, listen, this guy has to go, man. But as I say, I've just got a feeling. Get ready for him throughout the summer and then the start of next season. Um, I personally can't do that. I can't do that, and I think quite a lot of us probably
Nah,
couldn't do it as well. It's just crazy to think this guy makes you look at Bale a bit, and that's crazy to me. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst gets Everton for me, by the way. I'm telling you right now, he gets all the flowers. Honestly, that guy when he walks into a place gets free drinks all night. That was honestly, if you told me that was the last time you'll watch, you'll be on like cloud nine. Do
yeah. The
you know
last
what I
thing you'll
mean?
enjoy supporting Rangers, I know
Aye.
it's a damning state. It really is, and it's difficult to come up with more things to talk about other than the
I,
obvious. But
you know what it is, but see at the end of the season, but I'd love to sit with him and the whole entire squad and just go, let's see you watch them all win another treble. You know what I mean? Let's watch them lift that and that. How does that make you feel?
yeah,
I'd like to ask them all that. How does that make you feel seeing them do that again and again? You know what I mean?
no,
Because
no.
I know how it makes me feel, I know how it makes you feel and the people watching.
Yep, and
That's the
that's
way Celtic
exactly the
are.
the drive that's missing, I think, in this Rangers team in the club at the moment is the drive and the belief to actually go and win trophies. And we, after that Queen's Park game, I firmly just thought we are now Dortmund of Scotland. We are the team that will maybe do all right in Europe. We might maybe get to another final in the next couple of years or whatever. We'll concede to Celtic every single trophy going. And then there'll be the odd year, the Gerrard year, the 55 year that will pop up and we'll do really well and we'll win the league. And then, aye, that won't happen again for another 15 year. Because Celtic at the moment are going to be on track to winning 10 in a row again. Like, that's where the reality we are in. So I think we should end this podcast before we depress ourselves even more anyway. But that's the kind of state of play at Rangers. Everybody knows what has to happen. The board aren't agreeing with it, so it's going to be warfare between the support and the board now, I feel. Saturday's obviously a big indication on how this goes. Is there going to be protests? Is there going to be anything planned towards the board and fans that can get behind something, as you say, for once all be united? We all support Rangers, so we all want a better Rangers. So let's just actually follow
No,
what is right.
nobody's a bigger fan that we all support the same team. We all love the club. Let's just come together and just one big thing we together. Let the board know. Up yours, get him going. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
No,
Should be like
totally.
that thing with the Simpsons movie. Remember when they all dragged Bart, no Homer out the house in it?
I
That's what I say.
mean,
I should they go in the park, just grab him, take him out one of the exits.
no, it's sad that's what really needs to happen, but it does. And Saturday will be a big indication on how this, what's if anything's going to happen. I mean, I'm still unsure if I'll attend the game because, as you say, there's better things to do than go and watch Rangers. So
Honestly, telling everybody out there, go and actually enjoy your weekend. Don't put yourself through this torture. You know what
no,
I
at
mean?
least we've got no
Oh,
Rangers during the weekend. We can actually enjoy
aye.
ourselves. So, but aye, that's been the episode this week. Again, probably the same
But
thoughts,
yeah,
but leave them in the comments below if you've got any.
just obviously before we go on all, Scott Arfield scoring again. I'm not saying he would be the answer to that, but
But
what's
that's
that, a
where we
hat
are
trick?
now.
I
That's where we
mean,
are now. This is Rangers Football
aye.
Club. Right, we'll see you later.